guys, it's Wreckless Medusa, or Audra, as I'm also known in some tattoo circles. So before I get started in this video, I don't have as much lighting. I have a different background for now. That's usually my background for my other channel, but I can't stand in the spot I normally stand in. I have damaged my eye. I got whacked in the eye with my dog's tail, and that led to a corneal abrasion, and then now I have acute iritis, which essentially has my own body attacking my iris, like the brown part of my eye. So I am on drops that I have to take, and it's a lot less red than it was. But this is actually really serious-ish. So if I don't make sure I do my drops and all this stuff, I could lose vision in my eye. So that being said, my skin is sallow. It is sad. I've been off work. I took a vacation day on Friday, got whacked in the eye on Saturday, saw the doctor on Sunday, saw the eye doctor on Monday, and today that I'm filming is Tuesday. When you see this, it won't be Tuesday, but had a lot of time off, and so my skin is just bleh. So while I talk to you about the tree branch effect in relationships and the end of a relationship, I thought I'd go ahead and do a nice healing mask to get my skin back up to par so when I go back to work, I don't look like a heinous creature. This one is from Apto. I got this in an Ipsy. I've used it one time. So this is my second time using it. The first time I used it, I really, really enjoyed it. It does have a bit of a grainy texture when rinsing, so be careful with that. So now into the relationship drama. So you may have heard me just say the tree branch effect, and you're wondering, what does she mean? So the tree branch effect, I call it that because it is essentially like this. Any tree-dwelling animal won't let go of the branch they are on until they have secured another branch. And the same can be said for relationships. I'm sure everyone has been there when you have been in a relationship with someone, they break up with you, and for some reason they're sitting around trying to be friends or whatnot. And all of it just is a little awkward for you, the person who was broken up with. You're like, I don't understand what's going on. Are we getting back together? I'm confused. And it's very, very stressful for you. So that is what I like to call the tree branch effect, because they're not letting go of you until, they have something. And there's several different reasons why people tree branch. The first thing I want to talk about are the non-intentional tree branches, tree branchers, sloths. I don't want to say monkeys because I don't want people to get all like, oh my God, you said monkeys, that's black people and you're being racist. That's not what I mean. I just mean monkeys do the same thing. Chimps, sloths, koalas, if you will. If it make you feel better if I name like every possible tree-dwelling animal I can think of. Is a lemur offensive? Okay, moving on. So starting off with the positive ones, I love this mask, by the way, before I get real deep into it. I loved it the first time I tried it. It's just so soothing. It's tingly. It feels amazing on my skin. And it makes me just, like, I can already feel that, like, when this is done, my skin is just going to be so, so happy. And I'm going to be, like, not looking all sallow and gross. So I'm really excited about that. Now, I'm being exceptionally careful to keep it not near my eye because I am, panicked a little bit about my eye. Let me rinse my hands off and come back and I'll talk. We'll talk. It looks like I have a guest, Bo, so he'll be here off and on. All right, so I did want to say this. As I go through them, I'm going to talk about the type of tree brancher and why you should leave. So the first unintentional tree brancher is I'm not sure if I made the right decision with the breakup tree brancher. What does this mean? So typically these types of people break up with you and then come to a realization of some form that they're not positive that they made the right decision. Sometimes there's fear in there of, moving into the great unknown. They've known you, you know them, so they won't let go. So they're holding on to you and they want to be friends. And during that time of being friends, it becomes very frustrating for you because you're like, are we not? What's going on? It's stressful. So here's why you need to let them go and move on. And ask them point blank, are we friends because, you are worried or you don't know if we should break up. Normally they'll tell you. A lot of people will, but ask them point blank. And if their answer is like, I'm just trying to figure out if it was a good idea, let them go. End the friendship, move forward. Here's why. You cannot possibly move forward to the next step in your life, not even the next relationship, but just like the next step in your life when you have someone who's holding on to you. How are you supposed to progress into a new relationship? How are you supposed to progress at work? This becomes very stressful, and you're talking about it to your friends a lot, just like, hey, so I have this deal going on and I don't know what's happening. And I'm sure all your friends like get away from them, stop being their friend. They're right. The reason you need to stop being their friend is because it's confusing for you, it's not good for you, and it's hard for you to move forward. And it's hard for you to think that this relationship is over. So you're stuck in a state of the middle. You're just kind of stuck in this middle funky space where you don't really know. You're just kind of like, well, are we together or are we not together? And then if somebody did ask you out or want to go on a date with you, there's a bit of a question as to whether or not you can say yes, because you're not sure about your friendship with this person. You're just kind of confused. So really, in the end, it's better for you to just cut that off, because you don't need to be in a state of limbo. That's the word I was looking for. You don't need to be stuck in a state of limbo while they try to figure things out. You should be able to move forward with your life. End of story. And if they should suddenly figure out that you should be together and you've moved on, you've moved on. If you haven't, you can reconsider things. But at least you're not waiting. You shouldn't be waiting. So the second form of tree brancher is the I don't want to be alone, or I'm scared to be alone tree brancher. These folks are a little difficult because, again, they're not doing it on purpose. They're not setting out to hurt you. Their intention is not to do any of those things. Their intention is really that they're afraid of being alone. And so being afraid of being alone, they think, well, I'll just remain friends with my ex because, again, you know me so well, we can still do stuff together, and I don't have to, be by myself until I have another relationship. It's fine. Why you need to let them go is because it is convoluting the issue. Are you friends or not? If you're still doing things that you did when you were dating, that's very confusing to you. Extremely so. It is hard for you to really distinguish whether or not you're friends. And on top of that, it is going to put you in an emotional state that makes it hard for you to move forward. And really all of these do, but this one's pretty tough because they are making you stressed out. At some point you're just trying to figure out, like, especially if you're sleeping together still sometimes, and even if you're not sleeping together, but you're doing all the things that you did when you were dating, but for some reason you're not out having fun and you're just not able to date someone else, and you can't, come here. And you can't because of how they're behaving. That's just ridiculous. You shouldn't have to live like that. Hold on. Well-being, and for you to be able to not have that confusion, not have that tie, it is best for you to just move on, because if they're holding on to you because they're afraid to be alone, that's not your problem. It is not your problem. You shouldn't have to deal with that, and you shouldn't have them confusing you and messing with your heart. It is emotionally just wrenching for you to be with somebody or be friends with somebody that you just broke up with. So then the other non-deliberate person to tree branch are those that are afraid to move forward until they are safely ensconced in another relationship. I said ensconced. That was too fancy. I'm sorry. What I mean is, they may already be sort of dating somebody, but they're not sure of said relationship. So they're staying your friend, usually with benefits, until they are positive that they have someone else. So this actually flows from those that are afraid to be alone. This is another reason why you should get away from them, because if they're afraid to be alone, they're going to slide into this territory where they soon won't let you go, because they want to make sure that they have the next relationship. Again, this is unintentional. These are people who are afraid to be alone. They're scared. And they're people who don't like to not have a relationship. So because they don't like to be without a relationship, they're going to hold on to you and your relationship like this while they're like testing the other branches. The biggest problem with this and why you have to go is because these people will abruptly end your friendship. And it is rough. And in all of these situations, people can be holding on to you, their branch, for anywhere from a month to however long you let them. If you let them do it for a year, they're going to do it for a year. This final stage of it here, where they're waiting for this other relationship to pan out, is so dangerous. It is emotionally destructive to you in ways you cannot imagine. It makes you bitter, it makes you angry, and just makes you doubt your self-worth. Because what they've essentially done is held on to you until they had another relationship. And the second that they have that other relationship, friendship over, chances are within that day or the following day, if you're Facebook friends, they either unfriend you or their status changes to in a relationship. Like the moment that they're like, we can't be friends anymore. And you are devastated because you've been there all this time listening to their problems, their day at work, all of this stuff, and they were just quick to just cut everything off. They started a new relationship, and that whole time that they were like dating and meeting this other person, they just shut you down. You know, they just cut you off at the knees. And that is one of the most devastating forms of it, because you literally thought that maybe there was a chance to get back together. In all of those situations, you thought that there was a chance to get back together, but there wasn't. So those are all the unintentional ones. I will be back. I'm going to rinse this off, and then we will talk about the intentional tree branchers. Okay, so I don't know if you guys see it, but I definitely see a difference in how my skin was looking versus how it looks now. It looks a little bit more refreshed, a lot less angry. So I'm going to go ahead and use the same Iceland hydrating eye stick underneath my eyes. It looks like somebody wants to get in his crate. He has been spoiled while I've been home. Hold on one sec. All right, so the malicious ones who do it on purpose are those who don't want to. I'm going to use this dewy flower infused mist and spritz it on my face because I feel more comfortable using this than toner right now. But they're the ones who don't want you, but they don't want you to find someone else. So what happens with these people? All right, so those are the ones who they don't want you, but they also don't want you to get with anyone else, especially before them. This is terrible because they are going to do all the relationship stuff, but the whole time they're going to be hunting down somebody else. So, and even if they have somebody else, they still hold on to you. So this is the worst kind because they call it, friendship, and they're still coming to you, they're still hanging out with you, they're still doing all of these things with you, but you know that they have somebody, but they are basically keeping you emotionally invested in a relationship that's not going to happen. So they've done this because, first of all, from a male perspective, they don't want you to get sexually invested with somebody else, because the moment you do that, you're lost to them forever. You're no longer their second option if this other option falls apart. So that's a huge part of it too. They need you to be the second option. If this option falls apart, they need to be able to quickly get back together with you. Okay, now that the mist is dried, I'm putting on the Instant Natural Hyaluronic Acid Serum. I don't know if you can see that. It's so bright white. I love this stuff. It's got vitamin C, green tea extract, jojoba oil, and aloe vera. So why do you need to get out? This is the one that actually causes the most bitterness. You know those Facebook posts that you see of your friends, or Instagram or Twitter, their tweets, and you have your friends and they always say something to the effect of, men ain't shit, men ain't worth the skin they're printed on, women ain't shit, women are always cheating. I put on a bunch this time because my skin's just so angry. I'm just trying to give it like a little bit of love. That's what happened to those people. They were strung along. That's essentially what happened. The whole time, they're just holding on to you. And they're going like this over here. They're maybe touching bunches and bunches and bunches of other branches. And they're doing it. And they're like, hey. And the whole time, you were emotionally invested in something that is not going to happen. When that whole thing explodes and it does not go well, and they either stop being your friend because the other person has fully committed to said relationship, you are in a position where you become so embittered, an angry, irritated person that you don't want to be, and that you never were. That's the worst part about it, is you were not like that, but you then become that friend who's posting on Facebook about how whatever sex it is ain't worth anything, and how trusting people is stupid, you only trust yourself. And we all know, we see those posts, we're like, yo, calm down. You become that person. And what's weird about that is you probably didn't know that there was somebody on your timeline that liked you, and then, you know, they're waiting for you to break up with that person, and then you did, and they were interested, and then your angry, bitter spills start coming, and they're like, never mind. That is one of the worst ones possible out of all of them, is that they're deliberately keeping you there. Women do it, say almost the same reason men do it. They don't want you to be with anybody else. They don't want anybody to want you. They want to know that they are the one, that if they snap their fingers, you would turn and come running. So yes, they do this on purpose. They don't not it is malicious. It is malicious. They do this on purpose. They like the idea of knowing that they have a person in their lives that when they snap their fingers, that person is going to come running back. And, you know, very few questions asked, nothing. They're just going to come back. This is a weird day cream that I found at the Dollar Tree because at the time I just couldn't afford to buy my normal stuff. So, I mean, it's been working pretty well. It's just weird. All right. The final malicious tree rancher is the I don't want to feel like a bad person tree rancher. These people suck. They suck a lot. They broke up with you. They hurt you. And somehow they think that by staying friends with you, they are giving you like this amazing view of that they're not a bad person, and that somehow you'll come around to see that they were right about that breakup, right? We shouldn't be together, right? I'm not a bad person, right? These people are horrible, because they're literally being your friend just so that they can feel good about who they are as a person. They're not doing it for any other reason other than they think that they're helping you, but really they're helping themselves. They just don't want to seem like they're a bad person. So they're going to be your friend. They're going to do all the friend stuff. They're going to be like, we're such good friends. But they're not, and you need to move on quickly and immediately. Reason being, again, for all of these, the reason to escape is almost always the same. It is bad for your emotional state. It stresses you out. You can't concentrate. You can't go to work. You can't do anything. When someone is tree branching you, it takes all of your energy. All of your energy is spent wondering about this relationship. Just cranberry raspberry juice. But all of your energy is spent on it. You talk your friends' ears off about it. They're all getting tired of it. It makes you, it turns you into this bad, soppy, sad friend that irritates everyone. You spend every waking hour trying to figure it out. You probably don't sleep well because you're wondering about it. You're always waiting for texts from them. And if they don't text you in a timely fashion, even though you promised you weren't going to text them, you text them anyway. So the person who thinks that they're helping you by being your friend, they're helping themselves. They don't want to feel like a bad person. They don't want to feel like they hurt anyone. So they think that by doing this, I'm going to show them I'm not a bad person. And also it'll help them to know that we don't belong together, and they'll see it. So I hope that this helps you with this relationship dilemma that comes up, the tree branch, the way that people do that to you. And again, you're always being held on here, and then the second they're done with you there, they just swing off and leave you in the dust. leave you right in the dust to swing. Ooh, sorry, I had to grab his toy. They leave you right in the dust to swing all by yourself and be alone. And they don't seem to care that they've done this to you, and it's rude. So, in conclusion, I hope that this helps you with your next relationship. I hope this helps you if you're in one of these to see that this is happening and be able to get out as quickly as possible. Move your things out if you haven't already. I mean, once the relationship's over, it's over. You're a human being. You don't have to wait for somebody else to make decisions about your relationship. If they've decided you're going to break up, then you're going to break up. You know, if you can't deny the breakup. You can't say like, no, it's not happening. You just have to let it go, move on, and don't let that person back into your life until you have really fully emotionally moved on from them. Because then it's a different story and they can't hold on to you and they don't have that hold on you anymore. All right, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I know this one was a little bit long, and I'm sorry about Bo. He's just gotten spoiled because I've been home so many days in a row. He's not used to it. And finally, this whole skin treatment thing was awesome. I'm feeling really good about this. I feel like I'm going to go to work tomorrow and not look crappy. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you would, consider subscribing and hitting that notifications bell. Give this video a thumbs up. And I will be back. Ask all your questions in the comment section, and I will be happy to answer them. Until next time, peace out. And remember, you can't love anybody until you love yourself. Bye, guys.